Good morning everybody and welcome back to episode 64 of Open Crypto, where we keep you informed on a bi-daily basis. If you are interested in keeping fully up to date on all things crypto, then subscribe to the channel. We put out a new video every 12 hours. So today we're going to be talking about an article I found on bitcoin.com, and it's in their regulation section, written by Lubomir Tasev, and it's titled Bank of Russia Moves to Safeguard Crypto Companies Against Sanctions. So this will be interesting, I think. The Central Bank of Russia has introduced measures to protect entities working with digital assets from sanctions pressures. These businesses will be exempted from some reporting requirements as part of a regulatory relief intended to minimize the burden on financial organizations. Russia's central bank eases supervision of digital asset platforms amid sanctions. The Central Bank of the Russian Federation, otherwise known as the CBR, has allowed issuers of digital financial assets, DFAs, not to disclose information sensitive in the light of sanctions risks. The exemption, valid until July 1st, 2023, concerns data revealing the beneficial owners of such entities. According to an announcement quoted by Russian crypto media, the temporary reporting relief is part of a package of measures meant to help persons and organizations operating within the Russian financial market infrastructure. While Russia is yet to regulate cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, the existing law on digital financial assets permits companies to issue coins and tokens in controlled environments. 3 operators of information systems in which DFAs can be issued have been already licensed by the CBR. These are Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, the tokenization service Atomize, and Lighthouse. In the press release, the Bank of Russia explained that the regulatory and supervisory relief provided to financial market participants and DFA issuers since earlier this year is intended to minimize the burden on these organizations in the current economic and geopolitical situation. Russian government and businesses have been the target of expanding Western sanctions imposed over Moscow's decision to invade neighbouring Ukraine in late February. The penalties have severely restricted their access to global finances and markets. And I think what we're seeing here is that as money is weaponized, we've really seen in 2022 that money can be used as a weapon. If the US being the US dollar being the global reserve currency, if the US decides to cut people off from payments or from the global financial markets, they can do that. They can cut you off from SWIFT. They run that currency. They manage it. They run it. They decide who has access and who doesn't. And if you do not agree with the US government, in this case Russia, they'll cut you off. They can do that. It's their currency. So whether you like that or whether you don't like it, whether you think that's fair or unfair, the fact is they can do it, and they have done it. And so Russia naturally want to find other ways to actually trade with their partners. Again, I'm not for Russia, I'm not against Russia, I'm just saying that for them they will just naturally be looking for somewhere else. And I think things like gold become attractive because there is no issuer like there is the dollar. Obviously the dollar has an issuer, and that's the Federal Reserve in America, in the US. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has no issuer. There is no central bank behind Bitcoin. There's no central bank behind gold. You have to mine Bitcoin and you have to mine gold. And so these things become very attractive as stores of value. Gold obviously has been a store of value for thousands of years, and so it's just very reliable. And I think they're just kind of looking at other things and trying to see how do they regulate, how can they make things easier, because they're obviously under a lot of pressure. They're under a lot of global pressure, a lot of sanctions in Russia, and so I think they're just trying to test the waters and see what they can do, see how they can make things easier within their own financial market, their national ones. A proposal to legalise the use of cryptocurrencies for international settlements in order to lower the sanctions pressure has been backed by Russian institutions, including the central bank, which has traditionally maintained a hardline stance on crypto regulations. The CBI insisted that the support offered to financial firms including DFA issuers and exchange operators, has alleviated the negative effects of the restrictions and allowed them to adapt to the new conditions. The regulator plans additional steps in the same direction, such as amendments allowing the recognition of losses due to the sanctions. And I think that as as countries go forward and they put pressure, and as money is becoming more and more weaponized, they are crypto it just looks so attractive, even from a nation state level. When state actors like the Russian government or the Chinese see that if they, for example, if the Russians and the Chinese want to do a deal, maybe they don't trust each other. Maybe they definitely don't trust the West, but maybe they don't trust each other either. And everybody's a little bit sensitive because there's wars going on and there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of, a lot of things going on. And they say, right, well, normally we would transact in gold, and that's fine. Everybody accepts gold, from one government to another government, in payment for, say, oil, however many millions of barrels of oil that week or that month. They can now start looking at cryptocurrency, which is very easy to transact with. It's very quick. It's very easy. You can transact. You can throw a huge amount of value over the internet in one Bitcoin transaction for like $2 or $3. You can send $10 billion, $20 billion if you really wanted to, if you had that, if you had access to that much Bitcoin, and you can send that one transaction for $2 or $3. And it's so it's immutable. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be censored, and so it's just so attractive to from government to government. And I think as stress and pressure, and as I say, as money gets weaponized, and people realize that actually this is not a nice place to be, where we rely on the dollar, where we have to rely on the dollar. If Germany and Saudi Arabia want to do a deal, if Saudi Arabia wants to sell some oil to Germany, they are selling the oil in dollars. But neither of those countries, they're not the US. Neither of those, one's using the euro, Germany, and Saudi Arabia's using the dinar. So they're not even transacting in their own currencies. Everybody's using the dollar. The dollar is responsible for 80% of global transactions. So it's a super massive used currency. So it's really important that they, in their mind, it's really important that they try to look at and find alternatives. And I think this is where crypto is just going to be very attractive for them. So that's what I've got for you this morning, guys. Remember, everybody, to please subscribe to the channel, join our team, and we'll keep you updated on all things crypto every 12 hours. Smash the like button if you feel you got value from this video, and I'll see you all in 12 hours time.